Yes, people, welcome back to the Shoestring Budget Podcast, and we are here for the build-up for Manchester United and West Ham United. I'm joined as ever by my co-host Tom. How you doing, Tom?
I'm all good, bro. How are you?
Good, lad. I am fine. Thank you for asking. Now, obviously, it's a big game today. There was some mad results yesterday that have gone massively in our favour. And today is a day that we do need to capitalise on. So I don't know if you've seen the team news. It's a bit crazy. We'll quickly go through that on this show, as well as look at the league table and see what we need to do. So coming into this game, we've come in on a great winner against Sheriff Tiraspol on the Thursday, I think it was. And yeah, I'm just excited for this game. What are your thoughts on this game going into it, Tom?
I'm excited, but seeing Maguire on the field. To be fair, he did look good against Sheriff when he came on, but you know, West Ham are a completely different side to what Sheriff are. So I'm hoping, for his sake, that he plays really well, but we'll see. But I am excited. I always am when Man United are playing.
Yeah, I was about to say, lately, since Ten Hag's come in and sort of changed the way that we sort of play and line up and things, it's so much nicer to see. I must admit, it is more exciting. Let's have a quick look at the team. Let me just have a look here. So big shout out to Katie in the comments as well. So as she's put as well, no Anthony. We'll get on that. Don't worry, we'll talk about that in a minute. Could you do you mind keeping an eye on the chat log for me as well? Is that okay?
Yeah,
Tom?
I've got it on me. Yeah, that's why I'm like constantly looking over to my left and not the camera is, you know.
Oh no, that's good. Right, okay. So obviously David De Gea starts pretty much every game under Eric Ten Hag, even when there are games that we probably could rest him. But we move. So David De Gea to start in goal. Now, this is where things get interesting. Diogo Dalot, fantastic form so far this season, probably his best season at Manchester United. Scored from a corner against Sheriff the other day, so fantastic for him. But yeah, he comes into this game on a rich reign of form. Then the skipper returns. It is Captain Harry Maguire. He's back in place of the injured Rafael Varane, and also somewhat harshly in the place of Victor Lindelof as well. What are your thoughts on the skipper returning?
Yeah, it's a bit. I feel like it was harsh replacing him for Lindelof. Lindelof's done well every time I've seen him play in place of Varane, but I suppose, you know, for all the criticism he's had and he's been out injured, I suppose you've got to be fair and give him a run, because for how much he cost, and especially he was the captain of Manchester United for a long time, and he probably will be today, will he not?
Yeah, he'll definitely be captain. As far as I'm aware, there's Bruno is still vice captain, so yeah, Harry will definitely lead the team in. I think there was some reports the other day that he was booed when he came on against Sheriff, and then there were some other reports that came out and said they weren't booing him, they were telling him to shoot. So make of that what you will.
Yeah. So obviously when I watched it, I heard all that, and then when I think he made a good tackle or something, or he did something, and when he did it, the crowd surprisingly cheered him and clapped him. So that was a nice thing to see.
Well, we've got the best fan base in the world. I know Twitter's not always the best sort of way to gauge what goes on in the world of football, but in terms of what you get at Old Trafford and at the travelling fans that we get all across the UK, we have the best fan base and the most supportive fan base as well. So they'll definitely welcome Harry back with open arms, and I just hope today he puts in a good performance and tries to cement himself back into the squad. So, because there's no point in wanting bad on him, you know, he plays for us. You don't want him to play badly. But yeah, interesting one. Going to be interesting to see how it goes. On Harry Maguire, I just want to say as well, looking at the way the West Ham play and they've always got big, tall strikers, strong strikers. This game is made for Harry Maguire. When you look at the likes of Anthony, when Anthony will no doubt come on, the big man for West Ham, big, strong character, Harry Maguire is going to need to be on his best game.
Have we got Garnacho on the bench? I haven't looked at the bench.
Apparently not. I don't think Garnacho has made it to the bench this time. There's a couple of crazy decisions in
That's
this
a shame.
It's a massive shame because I thought he played really well the other day against Sheriff. But we'll get onto that. We'll get onto the forward line in a second. Lisandro Martinez back in form as always. Just the best player we've got by far. Love him.
Yeah.
Luke Shaw replaces Malacia, and again he's found his form again, and I'm going to say it, Roberto Carlos is back. It's happening. World Cup season is when he wakes up the most. It's going to happen.
I've been really happy with Luke Shaw lately.
Yeah, really, really solid performances from him. We've got Casemiro, sort of our utility man in the middle, controls the game, controls everything we do, and he's going to have to be on his extra on his game today because they do have some big, strong attackers at West Ham, and he's going to need to support Maguire as much as possible, I think.
Yeah, Scamacca's one to watch out for.
Scamacca, and then obviously they bring on Mikel Antonio if he comes in off the bench as well.
To be honest, I'm expecting us to dominate, but I've seen that we've got Ronaldo on the left and Rashford up front, so I'm not sure how to feel about that one.
Yeah, we'll have a look at that. Christian Eriksen also joins him in the midfield alongside Bruno Fernandes in the 10 role. Found his form a little bit more now. Bruno played some last few games he's played. He's been very good. Set up a lot of chances, and his chance creation is actually very, very high. Something that a lot of fans don't necessarily notice about his game. But yeah, he is definitely finding his feet. And now to the big talking point in that forward line. It's Anthony Elanga, who had a very nice cameo against Chelsea, I think it's fair to say, when he came on.
Yeah.
Thought he did quite well. What are your thoughts on Anthony Elanga being back in the starting 11?
I agree with it. I think he's deserved his place. You know, especially with what we saw against Chelsea. I said it before. We saw in 10 minutes more from Elanga than we did from Sancho the whole game. So, and I think Elanga's got the pace. He can take people on one-on-one, and you know, so why not? He deserves his chance.
Do you think he should have played over Garnacho based on what Garnacho did on Thursday?
If I don't know, because we've seen Garnacho's very skillful, and he can take players on one-on-one, probably better than Elanga. But I think when it comes to Elanga, he's got the experience ahead of Garnacho.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what probably does it for him. I think Garnacho still needs game times. I think we'll see Garnacho more in the Europa League and probably the cup games as well, like against Aston Villa, hopefully. Well,
if Anthony Elanga has a good game, Garnacho already played very, very well Thursday. Jadon Sancho could be even further down the pecking order, and that is definitely something that we need to discuss one day, because it's not looking good for Jadon Sancho.
No.
We've also got Marcus Rashford now. This one's going to be interesting because, like you say, I think he's going to be alternating with the main man, the GOAT, Cristiano Ronaldo. And there are a lot of talks that Ronaldo and Rashford will be interchanging on that left-hand side. And in fact, all three will, because obviously Anthony Elanga can play left, right, and sort of Rashford and Ronaldo will alternate who plays through the middle. Now, this was a game, I didn't really want Ronaldo to start this game, to be totally honest. I always think we play a more dynamic brand of football when he's not in the starting 11. But I do think this is a game that's kind of made for him, because they do have a slower defence, you know, more physical defence than your likes of Chelsea or sort of Man City. They've got a bit more pace. West Ham's defenders are a bit slower and a bit stronger, which plays into Ronaldo's game, really.
Honestly, all I want to see today, really, is I want to see United play good football, but actually create chances and score from them. I don't want to watch them where they're just passing the ball from side to side and back and forth. Even if it's good football, it's still boring to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we need to see a dominant display, and I think we will. I think if you look at all our games, other than really Man City and maybe the Arsenal game, but even that game, I think we had more possession. We do seem to dominate possession, and we do seem to have a lot more of the ball and sort of dictate the play. But like you say, it all comes down to whether or not we can. We will definitely create chances. It's whether or not we can finish them, and hopefully the GOAT will strike again. Now the big
Ronaldo
talking point.
Incoming.
Oh, you heard it here first, guys. You heard it here first. If you're right, if Ronaldo gets a hat-trick tonight, you're doing my lottery tickets, all right? But the big talking point, and this is something I'm a little shocked at, and I'm not sure. I was hoping Dwight was going to be here because I was going to ask Dwight if he could have a look into this as well. There's no
I can call him if
Anthony.
I can get him here if you want.
Oh no, no, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. All I was going to ask was about. I don't know if you've seen that Anthony hasn't made it onto the bench today, or even into the starting lineup.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So unnoticed.
I thought he was on the bench.
Not from what I've seen. Katie. Oh, this is the news that Katie's given me anyway. Katie's told me that he's not even made the bench.
Let me have a look. This is not funny. Right, lineups.
I tell you.
Let's have a look. Our bench. We have. Oh, he hasn't actually. No, we've got Bishop, Dubravka, Fred. Garnacho is on the bench. Malacia,
Garnacho
McTominay,
is okay.
Yeah, Pellistri, Sancho, and Van der Beek.
So no room for Anthony. Now, I was going to ask because obviously I put the teams together on the screen, so I haven't really had a chance to look into anything. I don't know if he's injured or if something's happened. The first thing that came to mind was obviously the amount of stick he got in the media over the last few days because of the fantastic 360s that he did, and it seemed to really upset people.
Peter said he has a knock apparently.
Oh, he's picked up a knock. I hope it's down
Robbie
to that
Savage
because
has been round.
Yeah, Robbie Savage has done him in. And I think it was Gabby Abongalhor as well.
Waiting for him outside Old Trafford.
Do you know what? You wanted to hear Gabby Abongalor yesterday. Gabby was on TalkSport last night, and he said that if Anthony did that, he'd have gone through him. He'd have done him. And I'm sticking with Anthony because obviously everyone's been talking about it since Thursday. What do you think? What do you think of the critics of Anthony and what he did? What are your thoughts on that?
There's always going to be critics, no matter what, but you just don't expect it to be your ex-legends, if you want to say. And just because back in the day football was a lot different, then you didn't really see that type of stuff just happening on the pitch. They've got to realise football's a completely different game now. It's not what it was. And yeah, I suppose in a way he kind of was showboating, but he's Brazilian. You know what I mean? That's his signature move. But I think. What I do think is if he didn't pass the ball out of play after and he made a successful pass, they wouldn't be talking about it as much.
Well,
that's so I think the fact that it went out of play, that's why they're going at him about it.
Well, that was the big thing, wasn't it? Obviously, it was a silly thing to do, but from what I heard in Old Trafford and from what other fans had told me from the atmosphere in Old Trafford, everyone seemed to sort of enjoy the bit of the showboating, a bit of the shithousery that he did.
Yeah, of course, you're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, of course.
Let's be honest, we're Man United fans for the past couple of years. We've had no entertainment, so we'll take what we can get.
Do you know what? I take it every day, and it had that. It was like exactly what we used to get from the players like Nani and obviously the GOAT himself, Cristiano, in his early days. Now, obviously, that was sort of stamped out of his game a little bit more. And I do think Anthony still needs that. He's still got a lot of time to develop. He's in his early 20s, 23, 24. But for the amount of grief, people like Paul Scholes, Owen Hargreaves came out and said something like, it wasn't the fact he did one pirouette, it was the fact he did two. And I'm like, get over yourself. He had a laugh. He was enjoying playing football in a game. 30 minutes in, I know we were 0-0, but it was a game that we were more than likely going to win.
Do you know what's crazy though, right? Do you know what's crazy? Do you remember not long ago, Richarlison did it when Tottenham were playing Nottingham Forest?
Yeah.
But that wasn't spoken about. Yeah, that wasn't spoken about nearly enough as the one that Anthony says. Like, what's the difference?
It's because it's Manchester United, and for some weird reason, and I think this is something we need to discuss later on in the week as well, maybe in a podcast, that why is so many of our ex-players on Erik ten Hag and Manchester United at the minute? Last week it was Ronaldo. This week it's Anthony. I'm sure there was stuff the week before that as well. They just seem to be going in so hard on Erik ten Hag and his signings. Even some obviously are about Martinez.
Right. Do you know what I think it is, right? I think because they're all seeing now that United are on their way back up and on the right path, they're not enjoying it. The United are rising back up again, and they're thinking, shit, United are on the way back. Like, we need to try and knock them down a peg, but it's not going to happen. That's my
But
theory,
but
anyway.
what I want to know is why why do players like Paul Scholes, Rio Ferdinand, Roy Keane, even worse, Roy Keane, why do these lot have such a big stake in Manchester United's failure? Maybe it gives them something to talk about. Maybe it gives them something to discuss. I don't know.
Well, do you know what? This might be a stupid theory, but it's like because they were all very successful at United, they want to remain the ones that were successful at United. If you get what I mean, it might sound stupid and it might be a long shot.
No,
It might
that's
be
a
a long
good
shot,
point.
but they might see it as they want to be remembered as the ones that got United all the success, and just want to leave it at that, and don't want anybody else to get that success at United.
Yeah, it's just I find it so bizarre considering they were so supportive of Ollie. Obviously, he was an ex-teammate and things, but all of a sudden we've now brought a manager in that is making really rough decisions and changing things and putting his stamp on things. And yeah, he's getting hounded by ex-players. I just want to read this tweet out as well while we're discussing Anthony. It's from Cantona Mank, who's tweeted in saying, "Listen, I've had to suffer Lingard and Pereira for years. Anthony can do what he wants." And it's exactly what you just said. We've had to suffer for years. We've had, people that have come in. Angel Di Maria, we had playing in a similar position, and they've just not ever done what Anthony's done. He's made such an impact in such an early stage of his Manchester United career. More of an impact, I'd say, than Angel Di Maria or any of the other ones. So I
Yeah,
hope it
they
doesn't
didn't do
batter his.
nothing at United. I never felt that way about Di Maria the same way I do Anthony.
No, I hope it just doesn't batter his confidence. And I know this is
I don't think
reported
it
to be
will.
down to a knock. No, I hope
don't
not.
think
And
it
I'm
will.
glad with the statement that he released on Instagram after the game, saying that I'm not going to change my style. This is why I'm here.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
what
I'm
brought me
Brazilian.
here.
This is what I do.
Yeah, so sticking on the West Ham, going back to the West Ham game, so Manchester United are unbeaten in their last 14 Premier League home meetings with West Ham, going back to 2007, and we've won 11 and drawn 3. So this is a game, as Craig calls it, against Fairy Liquid FC. I love that name, by the way. If we beat them today, that is going on to the,
I'll be honest,
the
right?
review show.
That one had me a bit at first. I was like, "What's he on about?" And then I realised because of all the bubbles.
All the bubbles. That's it. So hopefully we can burst some more bubbles today, I'm telling you. But it's going to be an interesting game. And I just hope with all these changes that we can still assert some dominance. Because obviously Harry Maguire's come back. All the critics are going to be on him today. Certainly from the fans. Not necessarily from the media, but the fans are going to be on every misplaced pass, every tackle that goes wrong. Everyone's going to be on Maguire like a ton of bricks. I just hope he has a good game, and I can understand, to be fair, I was a bit annoyed at first when I heard that Maguire might be starting, but having looked at the players like, say, Smaka from West Ham and Mikel Antonio, I think it's actually the right decision.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
hopefully...
he's a lot stronger in the air, isn't he? So, it could work out in our favour. You know what I mean? It's just he could have the game of his life today. So, let's not judge him before he's kicked the ball. So, let's judge him after the game.
And something else I'm just reading from Samuel Luckhurst as well. He's tweeted that Anthony's not in the squad due to treatment that he needed during the Sheriff game, and that Victor Lindelof is unwell. So that is why Harry Maguire starts, or another reason Harry Maguire starts today. And looking at the West Ham team, so they've got Fabianski, Carrera, don't know who he is, Dawson, Zuma, Cresswell, Rice, Souček, Bowen. There were some question marks over if Bowen would be in the squad today because he was meant to be injured, so he's made it in. Ben Rama and Skamaka up front, so a very strong, very, very strong team from West Ham. And it's going to be a very physical spectacle. I'm just going to bring up the league tables really quick. So, as you can see, after a weird weekend, absolutely strange weekend with the Chelsea and Liverpool games. I mean, that was fantastic, the Liverpool-Leeds game. That was just something else. But Chelsea were absolutely demolished yesterday by Brighton and Hove Albion. So they sit on 21 points. So we're a point behind them with a game in hand. Newcastle are absolutely flying high, so they're in fourth. and we're only 4 points behind them, but we do have 2 games in hand. So a win today puts us into fifth, with a game in hand over the team in fourth. So a must win, really.
With the way West Ham are playing at the minute, this is our time.
This is it, and looking, I mean, even looking at West Ham coming into this game as well. So the run of games haven't been fantastic. I mean, I've brought up their October stats and their October fixtures, and I mean they're not fantastic sort of results. The one against Fulham, they won 3-1 against Fulham a few weeks ago, and obviously they had the 1-0 defeat at Liverpool, but they were quite unlucky in that game. But it's difficult to base any team on playing Liverpool because Liverpool are poor.
Um, at the whilst the players were warming up, Ronaldo was blanked Gary Neville.
Oh,
Obviously, Gary Neville has been saying that he thinks United are better without Ronaldo. So
he's been very vocal, and
mm.
considering Ronaldo made a big effort a few weeks ago to go up and hug Gary and Roy, obviously blanked Jamie Carragher, which was fantastic.
You know what, right? That's what I like about Gary Neville, though. He's still very truthful. He's probably one of the only Man United ex-players that, is honest, and he says it how he is.
He says what he really thinks. I mean, I'm shocked at people like Roy Keane. I really am.
He does, mate. Honestly, I'm done with Roy Keane now. From what he said last time, I can't be bothered with him.
No, I'm gobsmacked. He for me usually is like a voice of reason, but what he said about Ronaldo was just insane. And as well, like I said, the most annoying thing with the Ronaldo saga is the divide it's caused in the fan base. People questioning whether or not Erik ten Hag is a good manager or the right manager for Man United, and I think he's caused so much drama. But it is what it is, and they've apologised, they've made up. That's all that matters there. But for me, yeah, the most annoying thing about Manchester United's ex-players at the minute is how much grief they're giving to Erik ten Hag.
Yeah, it's just
in a
one of
season
them.
that they're doing well.
Yeah, because we're performing week in, week out. Regardless, even if we don't get the result, we're still playing good football, and it's still entertaining.
So I'm just going to have a quick look here as well. I think Arsenal have played today. I'm not sure if they're playing at the same time as us.
No, so they've already played against Nottingham Forest, won 5-0.
5-0. So
yeah. But by the way, Dwight's going to join in place of me in a.
Yeah, it's not a problem. We're going to wrap it up very soon anyway. It's just literally a catch-up. So these tables are no longer correct. So Arsenal are now back on top on 31 points. And, wow, I mean, they are just running rampant. But having a quick look at the West Ham run-up, they won, I think, on Thursday in the Europa League conference against a team I've never heard of before. They won 1-0. Not big wins, and I think if we can, even if we concede one, they're not going to score more than one today. I can't see it, but
I can't see them scoring any. To be honest, I can see it just being another one of them games where they just sit back and play defensively, try to get us on the counter attack. Because when United that's the only thing with United, when we have set pieces like say a corner, we only leave like one defender back, so they could really get us on a counter attack.
Well, this is going to be, and we've got to be careful of their set pieces today because they do have a very, very tall lineup. So, yeah, aerially we're going to be quite challenged, as we have been all season, and not many teams have broke us down. So, that's it for us today on the build-up. 15 minutes or so till kick-off, so you can jump onto Sky or BT, wherever the match is being shown today. Score predictions. Ooh, thank you for reminding me.
See, I got you there, mate.
2-0 Manchester United I'm going with today.
I'm gonna go for a 2-0 Dwight. Score predictions. Say it until it doesn't pick up.
I'm going to say 2-0 United.
Yeah, 2-0.
We've all said 2-0 to be fair. We've all said that, so
2-0. Well, you can join me straight after the match. I'll be putting up some links on Twitter for the review of the game. Hopefully it'll be a really big celebration when we win, and we sort of get ever closer to that top four. But thank you for joining me, Tom. I really appreciate it. And big
no
up
problem.
to Dwight.
Big up.
And,
Like George says.
Hi, guys.
and we'll see you on the next one, guys. Thank you.
Peace.